Phoenix, Arizona, located in the Sonora Desert in the southwest region of the United States. Over 1.6 million people and counting call this concrete jungle home, including myself. As I've come to find out, the hustle and grind that comes with city lifestyle isn't for the faint of heart. The lack of trees and surplus of buildings and construction isn't exactly what I'm used to, but finding a job was pretty easy. I, like most people, work for a living. Been a blue-collar man since before I turned 18, and as a welder and fabricator, there's no shortage of hard work and long hours in the hot and busy summer season. But in the winter months, with work slowing down and the blistering heat held at bay, I can have a little extra time in my hands. But with the season that Phoenix, Arizona calls winter, it brings shorter days and up north winter road closures, leaving my favorite mountain creek spots inaccessible. So there's quite a gap in fishing opportunity. Right? Luckily for me and anglers alike, the dry and arid Sonoran Desert boasts what many consider a temporary blue ribbon trout stream called the Salt River. In these winter months, the water temps and flows drop significantly, creating a so-called oasis in the desert for fly fishermen and bait fishermen alike. And with the river only being about 35 minutes away, at the end of a long day at work, a try at the Salt River can make the day a whole lot better. The Sonoran Desert is actually considered the wettest desert in the world, with its unique climate and striking landscapes creating a lush ecosystem compared to others. The Salt River Basin in the Sonoran Desert has a biodiversity unlike any other. Wild and feral horses and burros are among the many of God's creatures that call these 86,000 square miles of habitat their home. Joining them are also populations of deer, coyotes, roadrunners, javelinas, mountain lions, bobcats, rattlesnakes, eagles, egrets, and herons, to name a few. Fishing the Salt River has its on and off days. It all depends on the water flows, the water temperature, the stocking dates, and what flies you throw and how you fish it. Overcrowding is also a concerning factor as well, as everyone from the valley is trying to get in on some of the seasonal trout action. Some days, especially on the weekends, there will be fishermen lined up on both sides of the bank and even more coming in trying to squeeze themselves in for a shot at a line in the water. Fortunately for me today, I'm nearly all by myself. Just me and God. Peace and quiet, except for the gentle noise of running water in the rises and splashes of a fighting trout. The Salt River rainbow trout are seasonally stocked in the colder months of the year when they lower the flows of the Saguaro Lake Dam. The area becomes a hotspot for fly and bait fishermen alike to catch their limited trout. And to keep up with angler demands, the river is stocked by Arizona Fish and Game Department nearly almost every single week from October until March, leaving the river absolutely teeming with life. In the Phoenix, Arizona Valley, even with the Salt River running right through the heart of it, there doesn't exist a self-sustaining trout fishery pretty much anywhere close by, or at least within an hour and a half of the city. That's why it's nice to enjoy the seasonal trout opportunity while we can. Although these fish are stocked, if they do survive the initial rush of folks trying to catch them, they begin to find their grounds a little bit, and sometimes begin to act more like their wild and more nimble counterparts. But sometimes, they'll still bite anything you throw at them. Today, these trout seemed to enjoy the beaded nymphs that I was throwing, and my partner, small spinners, which kind of ended up being sort of our bread and butter for the Salt River. We caught plenty of fish, from the torn up, freshly stocked fish from the hatchery raceways to the quote-unquote ones that got away, holdover fish from years prior. Either way, the fish in the net is a memory the heart won't soon forget, even if it's just a small stock of trout. On occasion, the river can be hit or miss, meaning some days we have a nonstop and on-fire bite, and other days, or really many of the days, we can't quite seem to figure them out and leave without a tug in the line. Even so, I never really leave the river empty-handed. Whether it be the wild horses making a regularly scheduled visit, meeting new people, or the flaming Sonoran Desert sunsets, God always seems to shine his face on me in one way or the other. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, verses 4 and 5, it says, "But there are some things that you cannot be sure of. You must take a chance. If you wait for perfect weather, you will never plant your seeds. If you're afraid that every cloud will bring rain, you will never harvest your crops. You don't know where the wind blows, and you don't know how a baby grows in its mother's womb. In the same way, you can never know what God will do, and he makes everything happen." There are some unlucky days that happen. It's just part of it. High winds that make casting quite unbearable, knocking down my camera stands, knocking down my water bottle, causing it to flow down the river and me not being able to catch it, and even knocking the hat right off my head. Not to mention the immeasurable amount of flies and tackle lost, and the slips and falls on the rocks. But even on the unlucky days, you can't help but to just look back and laugh, and not take everything so seriously. For most, the stocked rainbow trout are the main event of the season, but for some, the target is actually a native species to the area, the Sonoran sucker. The Sonoran sucker is a bottom-feeding fish in the carp family, kind of similar to the red horse suckers that we have back in Michigan. These unique desert fish are native to the Salt River Basin and surrounding areas, and every time that I've gone to fish for them, I've been visited by some old friends.
So I'm out here sucker fishing, and these pretty little guys come up on me, just walking right behind me and trying to cross the river, do whatever they need to do, and just admiring their beauty and just how amazing God's creation is that these wild horses just came to say hi.
Getting a visit from the wild horses is always an added bonus to an already great trip of being on the river with great weather, great fishing, and now great views of these beautiful and majestic creatures.
All right, so we're back on the river. Right now we're going to be looking for suckers. I've already seen a couple of them, but suckers and bass, and hopefully try to get into some.
With polarized glasses on, you can see these fish swarming the bottom, fish all over the place, and the trick is to get your fly directly right in front of their face so they just suck it right up. Unfortunately for me, these sneaky little suckers were able to evade me, but they weren't able to evade my friend Sam, who was able to provide us with some stunning shots of these fish. The Sonoran sucker are native to New Mexico, Arizona, and northern Sonora, Mexico watersheds. They have a beautiful bronze and gold coloration, and their long and strong bodies make them excellent fighting fish. It was a neat and very special experience to chase a small piece of Arizona history in the form of a fish, even if I didn't land one myself. It just inspires me to learn more and become a better fisherman. When I first moved here to Arizona, I wasn't too sure about the fishing opportunity, let alone the fly fishing opportunity. I was really skeptical. But to find an area so close to home base, especially in the desert, is very special. And although it's a popular area, if you go down far enough, you can always find a secluded spot to be alone, be with your thoughts, be with the Lord, and catch some fish. You might even get a lucky visit from some old friends of mine. With the summer season opening up soon, we'll have to wait to fish the Salt River again until fall. So while the kayakers and tubers are out enjoying it as a summertime cool-down spot, we'll be up in the mountains and the small creeks, chasing God and wild fish in wild places. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.